Sociologists who specialize in analyzing sociological research are agreeing on an important aspect of what is common to all sociological research. They say that the elements common to all good sociological research is a focus on strategy, a focus on design, and a focus on the actual methods that we use. So let's begin with the whole issue of research strategy. In sociology, there are only two research strategies that a researcher can adopt, either a quantitative research strategy or a qualitative research strategy. A quantitative research strategy is used when the researcher wants to ask questions such as how many, how much, how often. Researchers focus on collecting and processing data, often using statistical procedures, often using statistical research methods. Quantitative data is usually expressed then in numbers, percentages, or rates. If you look at the image that I provided a few slides down from here, you can see that there are the four factors that influence all sociological research specified for the kinds of aspects of those influences that are particular to quantitative research. In terms of theory, usually it is deductive theory that's used. In terms of neutrality, usually researchers are aiming for value neutrality. In terms of epistemological stance, they're focused on a positivist epistemological stance, and in terms of ontology, they're concerned with objectivist ontology. So we'll take a look at each one of these in turn. In adopting a quantitative research strategy, we are also using a deductive approach to theorizing. That is, we move from the general to the particular in terms of explaining our research findings. We adopt positivism as our epistemological orientation. By that, we mean that the evidence that we use has to be something that can be observed. We adopt objectivism as an ontological orientation, and by that we mean that it is external facts that we are seeking. And finally, we adopt value neutrality, or an objective stance to the role of values in the research process. The quantitative research process moves from general theory to refining that theory with new hypotheses, collecting data, processing the data, analyzing the data, and finally arriving at conclusion. In general, when we decide on a quantitative research strategy, we're also adopting a positivist epistemological orientation. We are taking the stance that the social sciences should imitate the natural sciences as closely as possible, that all evidence that we use has to be observed, and that all to be incapable of falsification. A positivist epistemological orientation offers explanations that are capable of being falsified with reference to our sensory experiences. And finally, when we adopt a quantitative research strategy, we are also adopting, as far as possible, a position of value neutrality. We are expecting that a researcher should at least strive to be value neutral in conducting and analyzing the results of their research.